Hi everyone, welcome back to High School Science 101. Firstly, a huge thank you to all of you for all of your support. We've cracked over 3,000 subscribers and 500,000 views, which 2 years ago I would never have thought would happen. So massive thanks to all of you for that. And also keep the questions coming. I've had students ask me questions through commenting on YouTube videos and also through Instagram in relation to a concept that I've covered, or they just need clarification or assistance with a test they've got coming up or an assignment that they're doing, and I've been more than happy to help. So if you've got a question, by all means, just ask. There are two goals to this video today. One is to show you a really fun and simple experiment that you can do at home, but mainly it's to expand on what I've already covered in the first video about variables. In the first video, we discussed a runner running 100 meters and changing his shoes each time he ran the 100 meters, and we identified the independent, dependent, and controlled variables in that experiment. Today we're identifying these variables in a very different experiment, and we're also going to look at how we can change the independent variable and how we can have multiple dependent variables. And so by applying this knowledge to a new second example, it'll help your understanding of these variables and help you when it comes to identifying them in your own experiment. What we're doing today is making our own homemade version of a lava lamp. So what you'll need is a clear glass, a cup of vegetable oil, a quarter of a cup of vinegar, a range of different food dyes, a teaspoon of bicarb soda, and a teaspoon of water. The first step is to add your cup of vegetable oil to the glass. Now we're going to add our quarter cup of vinegar, and when you do, you'll notice that it sinks to the bottom, and it forms big blobs at the bottom as well. So find something like a straw and give it a stir just to break up those blobs. Now you can add some personality to your lava lamp by adding some food dye, and I've gone with pink today. As you add the drops of food dye, you'll notice that it sinks down through the oil in the form of little blobs, and they sit on top of the vinegar. I've mixed a teaspoon of the bicarb soda with a teaspoon of water, and now I'm going to add this to our lava lamp to get the reaction going. When I add the bicarb soda sinks down to the bottom where the vinegar is, and the two substances react. When bicarb soda and vinegar react, they produce carbon dioxide gas, and these bubbles of gas are floating up to the surface and bringing blobs of coloured vinegar up with it. And when these blobs reach the surface, some of them start to sink back down again. This experiment goes for about 5 to 10 minutes, so while that's happening, let's have a quick chat about the variables. When we talk about the independent variable, we often refer to the thing that we're changing each time we run the experiment. In the example of the sprinter running the 100 meters and we were changing his shoes each time he ran it, the type of shoe he was wearing was the independent variable because that was the thing that was changing each time. In this experiment, however, we're only doing it once, and so that makes it a little bit more tricky to identify the independent variable. I've seen this experiment done with other types of chemicals, so for me in this experiment, my independent variable is the chemicals that I've chosen, which in this case is the vinegar and the bicarb soda. So my choice of chemicals is the independent variable. That being said, if I repeated this but had different quantities of vinegar or a different amount of bicarb soda, then the quantities of chemicals that I'm using would then become the independent variable because that's the thing that's changing each time we run this experiment. I could also repeat this experiment by using a different color of food dye or by not using food dye at all. And so then the use of food dye or not using food dye or the type of food dye would then become the independent variable because that would be the thing that's changing. Basically, there's a huge range of different variables within this experiment, including the brand of the chemicals we're using, the types of the chemicals we're using, and the quantities of the chemicals we're using. Any of these can become the independent variable simply by repeating the experiment and changing that one thing and that one thing alone. Because as we know, the independent variable is not only the thing that changes each time we run the experiment, but it's the thing that we're most focused on in order to achieve our result. Speaking of results, I'm going to give you a few seconds now to have a think about what we could measure in this lava lamp experiment. In other words, what is the dependent variable? The dependent variable in this example could be a number of things. It could be the size of the blobs, how fast the blobs move, how long it takes for the reaction to start, or how long the reaction lasts for. In fact, you could be measuring all of these dependent variables. You could do this experiment again using different chemicals, and you could compare all the dependent variables from the first time with the second time. And lastly, the dependent variable doesn't have to be just one thing that you're measuring. You can have multiple dependent variables and multiple things that you want to measure in your experiment. That's completely fine, and often there is more than one thing worth measuring. So that's it for today. I've shown you how you can choose what you want your independent variable to be, and also how you can measure multiple dependent variables. I've also shown you a really easy and fun experiment that you can try at home. Thanks for watching, and thanks again for all of your support. It really keeps this channel going. I'll see you next time.